Hey you girls, welcome back to my channel. So in this one I thought we could talk about how to deal with men never approaching you when you're outside, so when you go out to a bar or whatever. But before I get into that, I wanted to say that if you're someone who is never or rarely approached, do not feel bad, because really men do not approach women like they used to. There is even this article that I read that stated that it was, I think, 70% of Gen Z never approach a woman. Now obviously, Gen Zs are young, even though some of them are, in their 30s, but yeah, it's just not as normal as it once was to approach strangers, in the street or at a bar or whatever. Now I personally think that there are many reasons why that is, and the first one being that women have been very vocal about the fact that they don't want to be approached. Now I understand that we've been vocal about not wanting to be catcalled, by several random men in the street, crazy. But some men just understood it by, I rather just stay away from women in general. Like, I guess good men, or some of them, just because they can never really read the situation correctly, they just like when they can't tell whether am I going to bother this woman or no, their instinct would just lean towards, okay, let me just leave her alone, since I can't tell whether it's appropriate to approach her right now or not, right? So that's one thing. I do think that the Me Too movement as well played a big role in men not approaching women anymore in the workplace, for example. Approaching a colleague, even if you think like it is appropriate, you never know how she's gonna see it, or you could get a harassment suit coming your way. And I feel because of this, a lot of men are, worried about approaching women in corporate setting or professional settings, whether they work together or whether we're talking about network events, whatever it may be. Now I want to be very clear, I want to be crystal clear and say that I am here for Me Too, okay? I'm here for women saying their story, speaking up. I'm here for women getting justice. I'm here for it all the way, okay? I think it's a great thing. I hope that, in the future, women are going to continue to speak up no matter the industry. As someone who myself have survived something like that as a child, I will always be for, victims speaking up, and the shame changing camps, fear changing camp, okay? I don't think that, women who suffered are the ones who have to be ashamed and be afraid to tell their story. Definitely abusers are the ones who have to be frightened. So I'm grateful it happened, but two things can be true at the same time, okay? Like, Me Too can be a good thing, and it can be great that it happened, but at the same time it has affected the dating landscape, in my opinion. Another thing that affected it is social media, right? I do think that a lot of men are wary of approaching random women in the street because they can record you, right? We see this on TikTok every day, women recording men without their consent, which I think should be illegal. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not only talking about men, like generally, I do think that recording people without their consent should be illegal. I don't think we should be able to do that. And it is, by the way, one of the reasons why I don't vlog my life. This is something that, my mom and my best friend, they always ask me this, and sometimes even some of you guys would email me and say, hey, I see you doing better in the lifestyle landscape or whatever. But I'm very iffy about that, because I actually don't like recording myself where there are other people. I don't think that that is very mindful at all. Like, if I was to vlog my life in restaurants and bars and coffee shops, there would definitely be people in the background, and I don't want that for them. Like, I wouldn't like to be in someone's vlog, actually. Like, not unless the persons tell me prior, they let me know, okay, I'm going to film, you might be in the background or whatever, is that okay for you? But if I was to find out, which, if you think about it, it's actually possible, that I'm in someone's vlog, like, I wouldn't like that at all. I would contact them for them to remove it, because who knows, how do I look in that vlog, like the other day someone, and I know you guys, I'm going in a total tangent, like this has nothing to do with being approached, but I have ADHD and I will come back to it, so just stay with me. The other day someone commented and say like, you look impeccable, and I really took pride in that, because this is something that I take a lot of pride in, always, like my digital footprint being me looking impeccable, the background looking impeccable and everything. So why would I put so much work in my brand being a certain way, and then being in someone's vlog, just, you know, maybe it's a day where I just need to run to the post office really quick. Like, I never look crazy, you know, your girl never look like mental, but you know, sometimes I gotta run to the post office really quick, and I'm not gonna lie, it be iffy, okay? Sometimes it be at the border, okay? And I would like someone to record me, to film me, and put me in their vlog looking like that. Like, that wouldn't be nice. I wouldn't like that. I actually remember an acquaintance of mine once venting to me that, you know, a woman asked him to delete a video that he recorded in a public swimming pool. And he was telling me this as if, you know, the woman was mental. Like, can you believe this woman made me delete the video? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Like, why would you be recording half naked people and think that's okay? Like, what makes you think that's okay? So I went on a huge tangent, and there was a big side note. But yeah, like, I understand men being wary about being recorded without their consent, being made fun of on social media, being embarrassed on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, or whatever. So I do feel like a lot of men are very iffy about just walking down the street and talking to some woman, because again, she could record them. And the last reason why I think men do not approach women anymore is because they lack the social skills and the confidence to do it. I do think that COVID played a big role in this. You know, when COVID happened, a lot of us stayed home all the time, you know, all day, every day. And I do feel like this affected how we interact with other people. I see that a lot of people, men or women, really lack social skills outside. You know, a lot of people are very bad at being social, at interacting with other people. You know, everyone is always staring at their phone all the time, 24/7, 25/8, with the earplugs in and everything. So I do think that a lot of men today just lack, you know, the smoothness required and the confidence required to approach anybody. Now, with that being said, if you're a woman who still desire to be approached, I think that this couple of tips will help you. And the first one I just discussed is do not wear earphones, earplugs. This is a big one. Earphones, earplug, they translate in I'm unavailable. Okay, I'm unavailable. Them know they see me. Okay, if you're wearing earplugs, you're telling people no, they see me. Okay, don't talk to me. So do not wear earplugs if you want to get, you know, approached. If you're outside, make sure you're not wearing earplugs so that you can actually hear people when they're talking to you. So that's number one. Okay, another thing that I hear a lot, people tell women on social media all the time, is dress up and go outside. And I say, do not dress up, or be mindful. For example, if I was to go outside and want a man to approach me, I wouldn't go like this. I just wouldn't. I would wear my hair like this and this dress on a second date maybe. But if I were to go out in the hopes that a man would approach me, I wouldn't style myself like this, because it's come off as quite intimidating. I know this to be true. I'm a very tall girl. I'm 5'11" and stuff, so I know that I can be a very intimidating person to approach outside. And because of this, I am mindful of how I style myself. And I would say this is true for women in general. Like, the number of times me and my friend talk about how it's always the days where you look, you know, where you look crazy, where you haven't taken care of yourself and you're outside, that men approach you. It's never like the days where you're intentional and, you know, with your hair and makeup did and, you know, wearing your nicest shoes, your highest shoes, your nicest purse and perfumes and stuff like that. You know, those days are the days you get stared at and not really approached. Now, I know that in America it's a little bit different. It seems to me from what I read that it's normal in America to approach people. In Europe it is different though, you know. So I find that going all out, going ham is not helpful. It doesn't help with getting approached, especially if you're very, very attractive. You need to be mindful of that. I know that, you know, sometimes I'll go out, you know, Shana Bagano, and I'll be stared at but no approach. Okay, people will even change their seat. Like, I've experienced this not once, not twice, several times, where I will walk into a place and somebody would change places so that he can stare at me better, so that he has a better view at me, and just stare like that for an hour or whatever. And of course, I can always talk to them, right? This is something that I do often. I would just tell people, you know, can give you my picture and you can continue looking at home. And usually they do laugh about this, and usually this start a conversation. They're like, oh, you're just so pretty or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, you could have said that and whatever, right? But if you're not that bold, then you can just ask them, do I have something on my face? Like, you know, why are you staring the entire time? You can ask that in a friendly, nice manner. I find that, you know, if you're a woman who's looking to date, there is nothing wrong with talking to men. Now, there's a difference between talking to men and actually, you know, pursuing men. Like, I'm not telling you to pursue nobody. I'm just telling you that you can talk to a guy and let him know in some way. You don't have to say it verbatim, you know, just by talking and being friendly and flirting and smiling, you're letting him know with the open body language that you would be open to getting courted by him, right? So the ball is in his court. If he doesn't court you from there, then just let it go, okay? But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I actually know for a fact that a lot of Caucasian women are not single because they actually believe in, you know, being more aggressive than us when it comes to this. So I say go for it, you know, depending on the setting. If someone is sitting next to you, obviously make sure you don't have a watch on or your phone is not next to you or whatever. You could ask him, hey, what time is it? Like, I'm wondering whether I should get the last drink or not. I have said this before. If he's interested, you know, he'll tell you, oh, it's not that late, let me get you a drink, what are you drinking or whatever, something along those lines, you know. But yeah, just talk to people if you can. Be friendly, be personable, be nice. Don't be like too upfront about it, and be able to read the room and the situation, right? If you can see the person is not picking up the board where you left it, then just abort the mission. And if he is, then yeah, keep on going. Instead of also like really dressing up and going somewhere, like we discussed, that strategy doesn't really work. I'd say get used to going to the same places, because when you are in the same environment all the time, then, you know, it's easier to build bonds with people. You know, they used to seeing you, they used to seeing your face, they used to seeing you around. If you have a pet with you, they used to your pet or whatever. The waitresses and the waiter owner and stuff know you. So it's just easier in those settings to get to know someone than it is if you just go to a bar one night, like for the very first time. And also the chances of you being like compatible with someone that you know a little bit about are much higher than, you know, the chances of you being compatible with someone who is just approaching you on a bar based on the way you look. Now obviously all men who approach you everywhere in the supermarket, everywhere approaching you because they find you attractive and because, you know, they'd like to get into you literally. But I find that it's important to only get to dates and stuff like that with men that you actually have rapport with. I think that's quite important, and the likelihood of being compatible is high. For example, we all know churchmen be, you know, they be churchmen, but if you meet someone in church, okay, or two people who meet in church know that at least, you know, they have the love of the Lord, you know, in common. They may not follow his commandments, that's a different thing, but they know they both really love the Lord. If they, you know, if they're in church every Sunday, both of them, then they know they share that in common, right? Now if you go out in a bar and you meet somebody and he approach you, you know, chances are he could be someone who doesn't even believe in the Lord at all. So this is what I mean. But it doesn't have to be a church, it could be a gym. You know, if you work out 6 times a week, you know, the people you're going to meet in the gym are also people who believe in staying fit and healthy. You know, maybe they're not coming 6 times a week, but maybe they're coming 3 times or whatever. At least there are people who also value health and fitness is also high in their list. So find, you know, the things that are important to you and go to those places, and you will meet people who hopefully most likely also enjoy those things. But yeah, all in all, don't sweat it, okay? Men just, you know, are not what they used to be. So if you're a woman who doesn't get approached very often, do not take it personally. Nothing is wrong with you. You know, the world just has changed, and that's that on that. I hope that, you know, the few tips that I had for you were still or are still going to be helpful. Hopefully in 2025, I hope you find what you're looking for. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in any way, shape or form, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know how often are you approached on average. I would really like to know that. Let's conduct kind of like a study in the comment section down below. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye guys. Mwah.